Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are back in the driver's seats this week. This is episode 35. This is Coffee with Jenni and Dre. I'm Dre.
Oh,
This is my co-host, Miss Jenni Jones.
What up?
What's going on? So last week we had a little pod takeover. It was called Hot Cocoa with Blake and Corey.
They were a hot mess.
They were a hot mess. It's our kiddos, our 10 and our 9-year-old. What'd you think about it?
They tried.
You think they did good?
They did good.
They
tried. They were very focused.
They were. They had a little paper of questions that they wanted to ask each other, and they were definitely
they were focused.
They were focused on the questions and not just being themselves. But they just need some practice. I think they're going to get it. They want to start their own podcast, so we just warming them up and letting them do some things. So the next time you see them, it'll be more of a freer podcast for them,
Hopefully.
I think. Yeah, but I think they did good.
That crush thing they were talking about. You want to say our crushes on the count of three?
I don't know. They get on my nerves.
I think Blakeland just made up a name. I've never heard her.
She mentioned Isaiah already before too.
Oh,
yeah. So I don't think she made up a name. Talk about this coffee. I mean,
we're still working on our own.
We're still working on it, but we do got another sample that we're trying out today.
There's so many types of coffee.
So many blends, so many things.
Blends,
organic, non-organic.
Exactly.
Yeah. So this blend is this the one with the hint of so CB
this
told me.
This is a Costa Rican blend.
A Costa Rican blend. CB told me to try this. He said they roast and everything. This place in California. He has to send me the link. But he said it's the best coffee he's ever had. It's in California.
Really?
And he said it's the best. And it has a hint of blueberry in it, which makes it good. And he says every time he goes to this shop in California, it's sold out before 10:30.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we have to try that.
So we're going to definitely try that.
Shout
Shout out to my boy CB. He's in Tampa, Florida. They just made it through the worst part of the storm. They got some flooding going on out there. So we hope for everybody to have to be safe out there and to,
they are okay.
And they're okay.
They're
definitely.
without power.
There's 5 million people in Tampa without power right now. So
5 million, in case y'all didn't hear that.
Yeah.
And I also want to make it clear, because I was one of them too. We listen to our news here and everyone's like, mandatory evacuation, you must leave. And I've never really seen the point of view of someone that actually lives there. And so understanding that it is not as easy as just jumping in your car and leaving when you have millions of people evacuating one place, like, it is wild and sometimes safer for them to stay, which my point of view of that was always like, what? You just get up and you go and you leave.
Yeah.
And there's people that don't have the money to leave. There's people that don't have a car to leave. There's people that can't buy a plane ticket. And so when you see them on the news and you're like, why didn't they just leave? I feel like you have to give these people more grace. Like, not everybody can just get up and go because you have to.
For sure.
So, definitely praying for everyone in Florida,
Tampa, Tennessee, the
all
Carolinas,
the way up.
all of the places that got hit and affected by it for sure.
Yeah.
But what is this? This is Costa Rica.
This is Costa Rica.
I don't know.
You never like every time we have Costa Rica.
Yeah, I don't know if I like it.
I know it's very interesting.
Yeah, and I don't know. Did you put sugar in mine?
Oh, you might want to switch.
Why?
Maybe this one has more sugar. One had more sugar than the other.
Yeah, because let me see what this one looks like.
Oh yeah, that one was supposed to be yours.
Yeah, I still don't like it that much.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into this podcast, man. We're going to be talking about a couple of different things. I'm going to ask Jenni a couple of questions, and we're going to be talking about just different dilemmas in the middle-aged women's bracket. Because, for sure. I think that this plays a lot in like where women stand in their late 30s, early 40s. I think this is, I don't know when women or men, when they classify themselves as like midlife crisis or just midlife anything. I don't know what that age number is. But
the average lifespan of a human is what, like 70s?
86 for women, 70 something for men, something like that.
Something.
Yeah.
So we're there.
Yeah, we're definitely there. So the first segment is, it's about like middle-age dilemmas, right? Which one of the two are worse? Like, it's two different scenarios.
Okay.
Which scenario would you rather be in? And we have friends in both scenarios. So the first scenario is this: being a late 30s woman, early 40s woman
Right.
with no kids, but wants kids, but just haven't found the right person.
Right.
The second person is late 30s, early 40s woman who has been married, has kids, but now is divorced.
And I'm picking which one is
You're
better
picking
or
which,
worse.
I don't want to say which one's better or worse because they're both different, but let's just
Totally
talk
different.
about them both.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the first one, being a
Yeah.
late 30s, early 40s woman who has no kids but desires
wants
to
them.
have kids but hasn't found the right person
Yeah.
and is still on the dating scene and all that. Is there a rush?
So yes.
Okay.
Yes. And you feel it. You
Okay.
feel it, whatever you want to call it, your biological clock is ticking or whatever.
Yeah.
You feel the pressures from the outside. But not only that, it's for the people that really want to be a mom, that is a massive struggle to want that and then not have, everything aligned to where you can have that
For sure.
when you want it. So I think that is definitely a friend of a friend who's going through that. I told you right now, had just called one of my best friends and she's like, everyone's married, everyone has kids, all my friends, I'm still single, I'm, in my 40s or
Yeah.
close to it, don't have kids. And she's like, feeling like depressed. Like, I don't know what to do because she doesn't want to go to the bars. That's not
Yeah.
what she wants to do. And she's like, I want my friends who are married that have kids to call me to hang out. But she's like, I don't think they want to call me to hang out because they think I wouldn't want to because they have kids.
Yeah.
And so she's like, I would go hang out with you because it's better than going to the bars. But then
sure.
she's, in that situation, kind of like Candace, it's like, where do you meet people now? Because
Yeah.
if I don't want to go to the bar, like and everything is online and like with what Candace is going through right now, dating and you're swiping, right? And you see these pictures. But just like what she just had, a guy who's on this dating app. Am I rambling now? Or am I good?
Yeah, because we're sticking to.
Okay,
Candace
well,
is
I'm
pretty
telling
much
you,
the
like,
next one.
yeah, you're right. But I have to say this. So then finding the man that actually wants to like be serious and date, like everything is still a game. And
Yeah.
so to be that woman that is in your 40s and you want kids and you feel the timeline pressure, that is like super stressful. And I can understand how there is some depression behind it and anxiety and all the things.
And definitely comparison, seeing people on Instagram that pretend like they're happy with families and kids and all that type of stuff, and
Stop
you want those
watching
things.
Instagram.
But there are options that a woman, when she gets to that age and doesn't have kids and wants kids, there's still options of freezing eggs,
Well, yeah.
things like that. Because you can freeze eggs, but I know that's every woman can't freeze eggs because it's super expensive. So you gotta freeze your eggs, what can be anywhere from $5,000 to $8,000, I think. When
And
I
then
looked
you
it
said
up,
what you
and
pay-
then you have to pay rent on the space where your eggs are being kept
Yeah.
at in most places. I'm not 100% sure, so don't be on my ass about that. But
And
I just-
actually, now that you say that, I think the woman that I'm talking about, I think she did freeze her eggs.
okay.
Now
What
that
is
I
your
remember
thoughts
that
on freezing
conversation.
eggs?
I
I don't even know
understand
how it
it.
works. If y'all like when you hear this, if y'all have like any clues or ideas or any just feedback on like what that process looks like. If you are a person that has frozen
done
your
it.
eggs,
Is
let
it
us
easy?
know.
Is it difficult?
Easy? Is it difficult?
Is it painful?
All
Is it
those
not
things like
painful?
that. Yeah.
But the reason you do it is because our eggs, the older we get, our eggs is like they call it geriatric pregnancy. So
Okay.
supposedly you're at
What
a
age is that?
higher 35.
35, and you
Yeah.
become high risk pregnancy.
You become a geriatric pregnancy. So meaning
Yeah.
like the egg might be compromised in some way to where you have a higher risk of all the syndromes or all the different terrible things that can happen.
Yeah.
And they scare you. I'm not. I was in a geriatric pregnancy, so like they
We
scare
had our last
you.
one at you was 38.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had her at 38. Yeah. And they scare you and they make you think, oh, you're old, so therefore something might go terribly wrong. And things can go terribly wrong when I'm in my 20s. So
For
like
sure.
just because you're older having a baby doesn't mean something's going to be wrong with your kid. But so you freeze your eggs younger because they're healthier.
Okay.
That's the reason behind it. Now, then depending on what age you are you going to then have to have a surrogate, someone to carry the baby for you, or because regardless, your body is still old and older and harder to the older. That's what I was just talking about with. I had an appointment earlier, and she's talking about her husband wants her to have a fourth baby, and she's 40.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I am tired.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can feel the difference from Naomi versus Blake, like how I was with my energy. I think my body could do it again, but it's the after. It's raising a kid at this age is harder. I'm more tired. I am.
But also having a kid later, for most people, when they get in their late 30s, they're super mature at that age.
Mm-hmm.
Their finances is together.
Yeah.
They already, you know what I'm saying, have that foundation established.
Yeah.
Instead of having them younger when you're still trying to figure out your career, you're still trying to figure out life. And
I
things
wouldn't
like that.
change the ages that I had my
sure.
kids. And some people are like, oh, you're whatever. No, I don't feel that I am. I wouldn't change it.
Yeah.
Now that I am the age that I am, I don't want one now. Mm-hmm. But I think it was perfect how we had them.
For sure.
In fact, this is what I just said earlier today. If I knew what I know like right now, I would have had one more. Like if Naomi was like one, I would have done it one more, like back to back, so that we had 4 little ones
for sure
together.
For sure.
I would have done that.
Okay.
But right after you have a baby, you're not thinking, oh, let's do this again. That's not.
Well, you're not thinking that.
That's not what I'm thinking.
I'm thinking that.
I'm thinking absolutely not. But then you're like, dang, I wish she had someone, because they're spaced out.
For sure, spaced out. Yeah. And you have them close in age. They always be best friends with each other. Cool. So the second person in this dilemma is a 35-year-old a 35 and up and 40 plus woman who's been married, divorced, but has kids.
Yeah.
Her life is totally different now as well, because I feel like most women, whenever they are, up there in age of, late 30s, early 40s, and they're divorced and they have kids, their whole life shifts to everything being about the kids. Meaning like they don't make no time for dating, no time for themselves. They just focus on raising those kids. And so we have your best friend, my girl,
Candy.
That's in that same situation. And she really, like, when she went through her divorce, she went like the first 2 or 4 years, like not dating, not doing anything, focused on the kids. She's now getting back in the
not even remotely wanting to date, like
for sure.
wanted nothing to do with it.
So I don't know because you talked to Candace way more. Did she feel like nobody's gonna want me because I'm up in my age and I got 2 kids, and like who's gonna want to take on this responsibility? Who's gonna want to take on me? I've been divorced, things like that. Did she feel that way?
I think she definitely felt that way.
Okay.
I would try to talk her out of it as much as possible.
Yeah.
But also she knew she needed to work on herself before she let anybody else in. And so she knew she had work to do before dating again, but she wasn't really ready to do that work yet either. Like she was like, I just need to process everything that just happened. Then I want to work on myself. But I know that because society makes you believe that oh, you're 35 and up. Oh, you have kids. Oh, you're divorced. For a man, no big deal. We just had this conversation. You're more handsome the older you get.
Yeah.
The women don't care if you have kids.
Yeah.
You now your weekends, every other weekend is free or whatever.
Money's a little bit better too at that age when you get older too.
Yeah,
and
your money looks good. So you finding someone, it's not like a stigma like, oh, he's divorced with kids. It's not for men. And it's, quite frankly, I think it's bullshit, to be really honest.
It's a lot of hate.
That women are like tainted because we have been married and divorced and have kids. And even though the divorce couldn't have even, sometimes it's like, what if the divorce she had nothing to do with it? What if she did everything right?
Yeah.
And her husband still whatever, and they got divorced. She's deemed like baggage, and the man isn't as much. Not saying that it's never, but like as much, it's not. And it's sad. And so yes, a woman does come out of it like, unfortunately, who's going to want me? And like I had this, we kind of got into a little heated thing because I was offended because I'm like, somebody would want me. Like, don't sit here and act like somebody wouldn't want me.
We did have this conversation, me and her, about it. And I said, and it wasn't like, trying to say who's better or whatever. I told her, I basically said, if we was to get a divorce, we not ever in life. But if we did, I'm 44, she's 41. If we went back into the dating world, my wife is beautiful. I'm saying it'd be way easier for me to find somebody else than her. Because I'm saying like, not saying men ain't gonna hit on it, because men hit on women all the time.
You were saying they'll just sleep with me, of course,
not
or
like
whatever.
that. I'm saying like, I don't. It'll be. It's hard. I don't want to say they'll just sleep with you. It'll be like you're gonna have to do more figuring out if this guy's for real than I would have to figure out if this woman is for real.
Well, for what we've talked about before, what is the percentage of men who are? It's what, like the amount of money they make versus how tall they are. All these things that women like, right?
For sure.
Well, there's what, like 10% of the men are in that
lower than that, in that
bracket,
percentile, yeah.
Or that, and so for a woman who had a particular lifestyle or whatever, it's going to be harder. There's less men like you.
That's what I try to tell her. It'll be. I just don't like the way it sounds like that.
It sounds awful. It pissed me off.
It sounds awful, but don't look at it like that. You got to look at it on a deeper level. I'm saying it's way easier for me to find I don't want to say another Jenni, but it will be easier for me to find. This is where
shit got sticky.
It got a little sticky, but this is what I said. It'll be easier for me to find another Jenni than her to find another me. Which is not, and I'm not saying it like in a negative way. I'm saying that it'll be harder for her to find somebody that does what I do and like how she receives it. Meaning like when I pay all the bills, I do protecting, I do providing, I make sure she doesn't want for anything. She don't have to ask, like she's straight forever. Not saying what she does is different than what I provide, but it's
he said
those nurturing things are easier to find than a guy that does everything that I do. You can go find
someone to cook and clean for you and take care of the kids.
I'm saying that's what guys would normally say. It's easier for, not me, I'm saying it's easier for a guy to say, I can find somebody that can cook, that can clean, and that I can have sex with all the time and don't even have to marry that person, than it is for a woman to find. So the
offensive part is that all I do for you? Like
no. But I told you that. I said no. I was trying to tell you, and I said that to her. Once you say that little part, they shut off everything. But I was saying no. I'm talking about like the mentally part. Nobody can compete with her uplifting me, her giving me this, her allowing me the space to be great, like all that type of stuff. I can't find that. Another person that does what she does like that. But I'm saying as far as like the intangible things like cooking, cleaning, sex, those can be found, randomly. Like that's a random thing that somebody can do. I can pay for somebody.
Do you cook or clean?
I can pay for somebody to clean the house. There's a lot
of women out there that don't cook or clean these days.
No, what I'm saying, I can pay for somebody to clean the house. Mm-hmm. I can pay for somebody to meal prep for me. You know what I'm saying? Sex is in this day and age is super easy to do.
I feel like I should start charging you.
But I'm saying for like mental purposes and all those type of things like that. The other things that you bring to the table.
This meal tonight.
You know what I'm saying? No, but for real talk, like those things will be harder to find.
I get what you're saying.
So it's not like
it's fine, but it's offensive.
Yeah.
But it's unfortunately I think how the world views women.
No, but circle back to what we're saying, like it's easier for a divorced man, I feel, to get back in the game than it is for a divorced woman to get back in the game.
Yeah, and partially, you see this all the time. Men can be married to the same woman for 40 years and tragically something happens to her. They're back out. I mean, remarried in 6 months. It happens all the time.
But I think that the reason why
they have to have somebody.
I do. I think that's might be a part of it because they just, it's just they so used to, having someone
take care of them. Whereas women, and we have this conversation too. Like, in fact, I had this conversation with Jess. Like, if something ever happened, God forbid, something ever happens, I don't want to be married again.
But I told you that anyway, too, though.
It's not what I want to do, and neither does she. So I think women, and even Candace's mom, after her dad passed, never remarried. Like, there's a lot of women who were just fine not ever being with someone again.
For sure.
Men aren't the same way, I don't think.
So if we look at both of these women, the woman that wants kids and she's in her late 30s, early 40s, wants kids but just ain't found the right one yet, or being the woman that has been married, is divorced, has kids, which one of those situations, they're both hard, which one do you think is the hardest situation to be in?
I think wanting kids and not having them. is way more difficult than being a single mom.
Okay.
I feel like people take everything we say and like want to attack it. Being a single mom is not easy either. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But at least you have that yearning to have a child is fulfilled. You have your child.
For sure.
You can love on them. You can show them affection. You're not as lonely because you do have your kids versus if that's what you really want in life and you don't have your partner and you don't have a kid and you go home alone every night and you have to sit in your own thoughts because you can't stay busy or, you know, whatever, that my heart goes out to more because I remember the feeling when I wanted so desperately to get pregnant and have a successful pregnancy. And I was in my early 30s and I remember thinking, what if this never happens? What if I can't do this? Like, what if, all the things. It's a scary thought and feeling when that's what you really want.
Okay.
It's definitely scary.
So when a woman doesn't have kids and she is still trying to find that right person, whenever she does find that right person, is it a speed? Is it a speed situation?
It probably feels very rushed. But I think there's women out there that are very open. Like, I'm ready to have kids, like now. I mean, like the show we're watching. Like, there's some that have a conversation of, I'm ready, like now. And then there's some that are like, I don't want to have kids for 7 years. But I have never been the planner with kids. I feel like if you want to wait until your things are perfect and everything is in order to have a kid, I feel like you'll never have a kid. Yeah. Because things are never perfect and never how you want it to be, in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay. So we're moving on from that one. That is segment one. We're going to jump into segment two. Switch it up a little bit. Get back to some little lighthearted stuff since you got a little. Running? It's not since you get a little bit emotional when you know what I'm saying. If I say we both get a divorce and who's going to be the one that's
because y'all are superficial. Yeah, no. Go get the little bunny that does whatever you want.
And we're not even. It has nothing to do with that. I'm just saying
offensive.
I'm just saying it's easier, people. That's all I'm saying is easier. It's easier for a guy than it is for a woman. Mm-hmm. Even if you have 50-50 joint custody, it's still easier for the man than it is for the woman.
That's because
to me, my opinion, just my opinion. I'm not an expert, but I'm just saying.
There's a lot more women in this world than men.
For sure. But there's a lot.
And to be really frank, you men will jump on the next thing walking through this door.
And to be really frank, there's the women that want that alpha guy, that wants that protector, that wants the guy that's making that 1 percentile money, that guy that's making, he's only in the 4 percentile in the men in the world, and 2% of them are already married.
So that's my point. We're not jumping on everything
a man that's already taken.
Probably.
A lot of you women want a man that's already taken. Let's talk about it.
Well, I don't want no man that's taken.
Well, because you got one. But I'm saying a lot of women want the man that's already taken.
Well, because you want what's not yours.
Not because they want that's not what's not theirs. That's part of it. But that
man
that man that's already taken, they show, oh man, he's stability. They show
it shows that he can commit and they're attracted to it.
He's attractive. Man, he got his shit together.
I don't think they're looking at all that. They're definitely looking at all that. Oh, he committed to her.
They're not looking at just no damn commitment. They're
looking at
way more of the stuff that man has.
Listen, to each his own out there. But if you can look at a married man and want to go after him, I have zero respect for you. It disgusts me. I think it's crazy. If for some reason there's something going on in his marriage that he needs to get out of it, then he needs to get out of it, and y'all need to leave him alone until he can get out of it. Like, I have zero respect for people that can actively go after someone who's married, male or female. It doesn't matter. Sure. You know how I feel about it. I feel like it is so disrespectful and so crazy that I can't get down. I can't get down.
For sure. She's passionate about that.
I am. And not because I'm married. I feel like it's like crazy. There's women out there that are sleeping with married men on a regular basis and they know he's married. Mm-hmm. And it's like, what do you think the outcome is here? Like, what is the percentage of men leaving their wives to be with the side chick? It's not very high, ladies. So I'm just saying, carry yourself with more respect than to do that.
For sure. Moving on to segment 2. She got her rant off.
That's my rant.
All right. So we're going to talk about, the little concert you went to the Usher concert you went to. But first, I want to ask, before we talk about your experience at the Usher concert.
Okay.
Can men go to concert together? Because, you went with your girls. Can like a group of men go to a concert together?
Not a Usher concert.
What? Come on. We're not talking about it. Let's stop playing games. We're not talking about it. You know what the hell I'm talking about.
Okay.
We don't play them funny games. I'm saying, can men go on a concert together, or is like a men thing like strip clubs and sporting events? Is that comparable to like three girls, four girls going to like a Usher concert?
I think like you go with your guys to the comedy club and I'm never invited. I feel like comparable.
So, yeah, I'm never invited. See how she be throwing this bullshit in? Like,
I'm not.
I go with my boys and we go to the mothership. You know what I'm saying?
I'm never invited to the mothership. Joe Rogan, why he?
Well, Joe Rogan. I've seen him about 4 times, but I'm saying like it's not even to go see Joe Rogan. We go see and it's always a late show at 10. We go. It'd be my 4 boys.
I'm just trying to figure out what's going on up there to where I can't.
Shout out to David. Shout out to Paraz. Shout out to Swim. We always go to the mothership. What we do first off, we go eat at a steakhouse somewhere, have a steak, and then we shoot to the mothership. If you want to, but I don't never get the tickets. Swim always get the tickets.
Well, Swim. What's up? I'm Andre's wife.
Yeah,
I would like to go to the mothership.
Tickets and they do like this, and it's like, hey, we're going to the show on Saturday, boom, or a show on Tuesday, and I don't even. It's just like that. That's how it goes. It's not like it's It's not a whole planned out thing. Yeah,
which is always like a whole nother thing. That
and the tickets sell out so fast.
Men don't have to plan anything. Women have to plan everything months in advance. Months. Hey, can you get what is this? October 10th? I'll get a text message. Hey, are you available December 7th?
Oh, y'all figure that shit out.
And
that ain't nothing
that
to do
is
with
how
me.
women have to roll. Men are, hey, there's a show tomorrow. You want to go? Yeah.
So there's probably not one concert like guys can go to see.
Okay, well, let's think.
But I mean, I guess we're in ACL weekend right now. I guess a group of guys can go to like
different.
ACL
Yeah,
together,
yeah.
because that's not just one concert. But like the boys being like, "Yo, let's go." I mean, I want my boys to go. I went with Curtis Bradley. We went to go see Lil Kiki and Bumby. We went to go see a concert
rappers
together
and things like that. I feel like that's very doable.
But it was like at a small venue. Wasn't nothing like that.
Like Drake would be weird.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm not going to see Drake with the boys.
But like, why can't I think of his name? You took me to him.
Rick Ross.
Rick Ross.
Yeah.
Like I could see you doing that.
Yeah. So you can go to rap concerts with the boys, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah. But like, definitely never go see R&B with the boys.
No.
We're not singing together and shit. Like, we're not doing that.
Not R&B or even country. I feel like thank you for letting me go with the girls, because I was thinking about that. I was like, what if Andre wanted to go without me? I would have been. Because I would want to see him. And again, I know you're not going to go see Usher, but I was thinking about it.
I like Usher, but I'm just not going to. I mean,
you would have liked it. If we were together, I think you would have like really enjoyed it. And there were lots of couples there. So, and especially like old school couples, like just really enjoying it. It was a fun night.
Yeah, for sure. So, give me your review. Tell me about it. Tell us about it. Give everybody the review
Usher
of the concert.
Fun. He's just. You watch him and he's such a performer.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously he's dancing the entire time. And of course,
he's only 5'2", ladies. Just letting y'all know. He's only 5'2".
He's like 5'8".
Okay. 5'8". Okay.
There's a lot of 5'8" men out there, babe.
No. Shout out to the 5'8" brothers, man. I'm just saying.
But listen, all he had to do.
I'm just saying, if your heartthrob is a 5'8",
you know how we have these cameras right here? All he had to do was like look in the camera at one, and he would say nothing. He would just look at it and be silent. One time he did it for like 2 minutes straight, and the women just fell out. Like, I mean,
I used to have that effect.
I was dying laughing just now that I'm older watching, and these women, I can't imagine what it's like to be him, because when he would like walk in the crowd, I mean, they're just like drooling over him, and it's like, what do you do?
How many cherries did he feed these ladies?
He had a bowl.
Unsanitized, folks. This is unsanitized.
No,
don't y'all know that?
Because okay,
I'm hating right now. Let me stop.
So when he comes out in the red robe, you're like, okay. And he kept putting his hand in his pocket, and me and Jess
pulled them out of his pockets?
So listen, me and Jess were like, he better not pull those cherries out of his pocket. So he didn't. So he has an area called the G spot. And so
player.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it's like at the back where they've like plucked women out, I guess, throughout the night that are like having their own individual party over there, right? They're twerking, they're doing their thing. Like, and so he gets over there during a certain time. And that's where the bowl of cherries is.
Okay.
But y'all, he's not like
Are these organic cherries?
I
You know they're not.
nothing about this is organic. This
Okay.
is not fresh and clean. This is dirty and
Continue.
so, but the way he holds the cherries, I don't think he's probably like, who the hell's idea was this to have me out here feeding these women cherries?
Yeah.
And then they put their mouth on the big screen
Mm-hmm.
where all you see is tongue, lips, and teeth,
Yeah.
basically. And he holds the cherry like this. And he just kind of...
He's not looking scared.
I swear he does. He's like this. And sometimes he'll look away because sometimes the women are aggressive.
Yeah.
Like one time the lady was like bit it real fast and he literally was like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
So no, he does respond depending on how. But there was one lady that he kept like, she was a little bit older, right? And he would give it to her and then she would like reach for it and he would take it away. So like she did it like 3 times. And I was dying. I really was. I was kind of embarrassed. I didn't know what to think.
Would you ever let Usher feed you a cherry?
Absolutely not. There will be no feeding me a cherry in front of thousands of people ever. But can I tell the story of the husband?
Go ahead.
Okay, the best part was, now mind you, Usher is married now, so I
Yeah.
think he's very tuned with married people. Probably he understands it now. And there was a woman who was in this G section that the husband was right there. So
How did they let a man in the G section?
because he wasn't in it, but it's like a bar almost,
Okay.
and so he was right there, and he screams out something about his wife, and so Usher was like, "Wait, your wife is in here?" And he goes, "Hold on, let me tell you what we're gonna do." He's like, "You're going to feed your wife the cherry," and the husband is like, "No, you feed her the cherry," and Usher was like, No, let me show you what we're gonna do. This is your wife, like, you feed your wife the cherry. And the guy literally insists that Usher feeds his wife the cherry to the point where Usher was like, okay, let me get this straight. You want me to feed your wife a cherry? And the dude literally says yes. And I was like, Andre would never.
Whoever that guy is,
Then he videos it.
come talk to me.
He videos it for her. And I'm telling you, his wife like leans her head all the way back. And I'm talking embraces the entire cherry feeding process.
And the guy's just like, yes, let my wife
He's
get
videoing it.
Yeah. Different type of dudes, man. That just, you know, different type of guys. I mean,
I was dying. I was
so
like, this is wild.
overall review, how was
Overall,
it to you?
his dancers are fabulous. They got their roller skating, they're dancing. They do their thing. He sounds great. He now sounds great on top of dancing nonstop. You know, did all the past songs, did all the present songs. I mean, he did his thing.
Nice.
And he was personable. You know, he would talk, kind of tell you some stories or whatever. So, I'm still waiting for Adele, obviously.
For sure. We're going to see Adele too, November-ish, probably November. Middle in November. We're going to take a trip to Vegas and go check Adele out. I'm going to that show.
Yeah.
I fucks with Adele.
Yeah, but it was a good show. It was a very and he brought out Gary Clark Jr.
Nice.
Who is like, if y'all aren't from Austin, obviously he is from Austin. He's
one of the best guitarists ever.
Man, and he is. So he sang a song. Usher gave him his props. So that was cool.
For sure.
That's it.
Rated from 1 out of 10, Usher concert.
Okay. Well, I 1 out of 10 out of all the shows I've ever been to.
just Usher's concert, 1 out of 10. Not comparing it to nobody.
I'm gonna say, well, I feel like Adele would be a 10, even though I've never been there.
We're just saying, his concert. How did he do?
It was a 10. He did great.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Well, Usher, you got a 10 review from the wife. You didn't feed my wife any cherries. We wasn't gonna play that. I would have pulled up on your ass. But I mean, great show, man. You did a good job. They say
it was fun.
It was fun. That's good. So, okay, this last segment is like just some questions that I ask. That's about it. You know,
like random questions that you're asking me again.
Yeah, man. Some are deep, some are not. You know, take them how you want them.
Okay.
Number 1, tell me this: what's something that you are passionate about that I don't know?
I don't like these questions.
Do you have a passion that you're super passionate about that I
you
don't
wouldn't know?
That I don't know. Because sometimes people have passions, like you might have you might, just have a passion that I don't know about.
No. That you don't know about?
Yeah.
How would you not know about something I was passionate about?
Because sometimes all passions ain't like, some are hidden. Some people just don't.
I have, they're not passions. Otherwise I would be pursuing them. I have things that I really wish that I had the time to pursue.
Okay, like what?
Like understand, like coffee and wine.
Okay.
And like really diving into both.
You want to be a
and
som?
I don't want to be that intense, but I want to like know about the regions more, know about what makes this wine like this or that wine like that. Same with coffee.
Oh yeah, you was a little excited to tell me about why a Prosecco is only
Not Prosecco,
or champagne is only what?
Only from the Champagne region. You
Only
have
from
it
the
has
Champagne
to
region.
legally be from that specific.
What's the Champagne region? Where is it?
Don't make me do it.
Okay, don't look it up. Okay, so because you're not that passionate about it. I just
No,
want to
so
make
there's.
sure.
I know that there's like like a east and a west or a north and a south side of it, and
So every coast has a region.
no, just this, just one.
No,
specific,
I don't need your notes. I don't want the
no,
notes.
because now I feel like I need to tell people
Well, I don't want your
about the
notes.
Champagne region.
Okay. Oh, you did take notes. You might be a little passionate about it since you did take some notes.
It's just very it's very interesting to me. So obviously a lot of the wine is in France, but the Champagne region
Only champagne, folks.
it has to be from that region. See, there's the northeast. There's a northeast side.
Okay.
And then I want to say, I'll have to get back to y'all on this because I don't want to say something wrong and then
She's
someone
gonna get back to y'all.
like talks to me about it. But I do know that there are, if you call something a champagne and it doesn't come from that region in France, then it's like a big deal. You get in big trouble. So like any
Is
champagne,
it from
like the Dom
is it the
Perignons,
FBI of champagnes?
yeah,
people?
I mean like, and then like the Dom, like those have to be in a barrel for. What did I tell you?
I don't know. I was just trying to see if you're passionate about it.
Years. They
Okay.
have to be in a barrel before they're ready to go. So there's just a lot of things that I want to know and learn and not forget after I learn them.
For sure. Tell me this. What's one memory about us that you never want to let go? Like, what's one memory? Like, you like, I always want to remember this moment that we shared at this time. And it can't be our wedding.
It's not. I have this one really good memory. It was kind of dirty a little bit.
Wait, we had sex?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Jesus.
Oh, shit. Get freaky then, boo. I ain't heard this one before.
No.
What's the one memory?
Okay. God, you make me hot.
I'm just asking the question.
I mean, we're just on air for a bunch of people. So no, there was a time. I mean, there's like wedding and like
I said
there's
not wedding.
Oh,
so
not wedding.
That one's
okay.
one because that's easy.
Okay, so there was I remember like fun times of. Do you remember when the first place that you lived at? We were wrestling in your master bedroom. I don't know. It's a stupid.
Well,
it's a
no,
stupid
it's
memory.
not stupid because it's your memory that you never want to forget.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
we
nothing
would
has to
just
be-
like wrestle and we were just wrestling and having fun. Not sexual guys at this point.
And that's one memory that you don't ever want to
Yeah,
forget.
I remember us wrestling on the floor, and that was a good memory.
Was that on top of you?
I mean,
I don't know. Were you on top
like,
of me?
I feel
How
like
was
you
this
want
wrestling?
this to be sexual.
No, I'm just saying, how was the
but
wrestling
it was just
going?
like wrestling. You were. It reminded me of like my brothers. Like we would all grew up like they would constantly be wrestling or doing something like that. So it was like just super playful and fun. Which we don't do anymore, except you get on my nerves because you just like try to.
I do wrestle you
no,
still.
you like squeeze and hurt. That's
No.
not fun.
So my
And you
wife,
can't lay
no,
on me.
she's lying right now, folks. Don't believe that shit. So my wife has this problem, and it's ridiculous, folks. So she gets like amazingly claustrophobic, panic attack instantly. So what I do to try to trigger that shit is like sometimes when she's laying in bed, right, and she already got a blanket over, I'll lay on top of her with all my weight.
I like
She
get
would
nervous of
literally
you thinking
start
about it.
Getting like her hands are probably getting sweaty right now.
Yeah.
So she'll let me lay there for like 2 seconds, and then she'll start saying, "Hey, wait, you gotta move. Let me get my leg up. Let me get my leg up. Let me just get one of my arms. I gotta move an arm. I have to move an arm." And then like she literally is about to cry and go crazy because she cannot move. This shit is ridiculous, people. I've never seen this shit before in my life.
It is a terrible feeling.
And so my kids won't have the same problem. When they come into bed sometimes, I'll lay all my body weight on them. They'll start
And it
freaking out like
stresses
her.
me out.
They'll start freaking out just like she does. And I say, "Hey, stop. Breathe. All you got to do is breathe. And guess what? All of them start breathing and they're just relaxed. And they're like, okay, this ain't so bad.
There's no breathing.
I can tell
for
her
me.
ass, hey, just breathe. I can't even get breathed out. She's trying to fight. She's trying to do everything to get out. So if she ever gets buried alive, it's over. She down in 2 seconds.
God.
It ain't gonna, she won't even be able to make it.
No, being stuck in something or not being able to move. Oh, yeah.
So she has a problem.
I do.
What is that called? Like, why do you
claustrophobic, I guess.
But
I don't know. It's just
can't move your arms and legs is stressful for you.
Yeah. Like immediate panic attack.
That's crazy.
And it is immediate.
I know.
Yeah.
All right. Next
Okay,
question.
wait. I want to know what memory you have.
It's not about me today. It's about you.
I feel like I have more than that, but that's a fun memory. I liked that memory. I like that memory.
So, when do you feel most yourself?
When do I feel most myself?
Yeah.
I feel like I always feel like myself.
No, we're not going to do that shit. No, you
I
don't.
do.
No, what do you mean? You be having mood swings, you be having attitudes, you be having, what do you mean? Just you're not
That's still who I am.
No,
What you
it's
mean?
like, when do you feel like your most free self, like where you're like yourself?
Probably this is probably pretty sad, but my most free self
Without the kids, let's do that.
it's almost without the kids always
okay.
because when I'm with the kid, I'm mom mode.
Yeah.
So like I'm protective, I'm overbearing, I'm doing all these things that isn't. So when I'm like at the concert with Jess and them, I find like I can like let loose and I'm not worried about something all the time, or oh my God, dinner, or, or when I am going out, I've got to think about, let me get all this stuff done so that when I do go out, I'm not worried the whole time. Like I didn't do that or I didn't do this. So probably when I'm with you on a date night or just with my friends or Candace, where we're just being giggly and funny and silly, like that's when I'm
Fellas, does your wife send you this text? Let me know. It's the text where, she knows you with the kids and she's out with her friends. Do you get that text where, hey, babe, I know you know this already, but can you like gives you a list of shit. But if you already knew, I knew the fucking list of like what time kids get bathed, what time they get in bed, what needs to be done, what chores need to be fixed, If you already knew, I knew that. Why do they send that text? Like, babe, I know you know, but
I have to say, I know you know, because you get offended if I try to tell you something.
Because I know.
But it's something I do every day. And so like the reason I sent you that text is so that you had then in a text message what time Corey was done with gymnastics, because I knew you would be like, wait, what time again? You would.
I know everything.
And so I was like, I'm going to just put it in a text message so that he can refer back to it in case he needs it. I know that you got it. I know you got the kids. I don't have to worry. But I know you don't know the times like you think you do. So I'm going to
hey, listen,
let
if these
you know.
motherfuckers sitting outside, I'm 30 minutes late, they going to get picked up though. Don't you worry. They'll get picked up. Like kids will get fed. Everything works out perfect when they with dad. I don't need the list of text when you know I know.
I don't ever send you a list.
Well, I'm just saying, I don't need I don't need the refer to text.
Okay. Yeah. Then you still ask me what time to pick her up, FYI. Yes, you did.
Corey?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you did.
I did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even after I sent it so that you would have it.
You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. Sometimes I'll be sending them shits out just to make you feel like good. Like,
well, that's
okay. Oh, maybe,
Then
maybe,
we did the same thing.
No.
I was just letting you know, you got this. I know you got it.
No,
Boo.
I don't need the pep talk. Last question, man, before we close out this thing. I think that all y'all should ask y'all spouse this. I think it's a good question. All y'all should ask your spouse this. So I'm going to ask you, do you think that I'm happy?
Oh, I hope so.
That ain't the question. The answer.
Yeah, I think you're happy.
You think that I'm happy?
Yeah.
What makes you think that I'm happy in this relationship? What makes you think that I'm happy as the man I am right now, the provider I am, where I'm at career-wise, where I'm at life-wise, where I'm at as a husband, where I'm at as a father? Well, like what makes you think that I'm happy?
Because I've seen us in a marriage. I've seen you as a businessman not in the position that we're in now. And I know who you were then versus who you are now. To me, this is the happiest version of you I've ever seen. And so I have to say it's A, where we are in our relationship, B, where you are with work, C, where you are in fatherhood or whatever. I think we went through a whole lot of stuff with some of the other kids and we've made it through that. And so having them at our house now, having one in Austin. Like, I just feel like different areas of your life. We've been together a long time. So I've seen you and I can refer back and know I knew in times where you probably weren't the happiest in our marriage. And I've known in times when you weren't the happiest doing work. We've been through different stages of life. So yeah, I definitely know that you're happy now. Does that mean I don't get on your nerves? No, I know I get on your nerves, but I know you love me at the same time. So
yeah, definitely. I think people should ask their spouse, like one another, like, do you think that I'm happy?
Yeah.
Because I don't know if people would ever share if they wasn't or was happy. I don't know people's communication, because sometimes things get too complicated, and it'll be too far along before the other person expresses that they're unhappy, because you have this end and then this end, and then everything in the middle gets all confusing before this person says, "Man, I'm really not happy."
I think too. I would be interested to see studies on this. Like, I think women, because we talked about this with my girls, like, you lose yourself and all those things. But like what I did the other day, because I can get like anxious, and there's a lot of things and moms do that dads don't do. And there's a lot of things that dads do that moms don't do. This isn't like a battle here. It's just dealing with things that I think a lot of moms lose themselves in. But like, I think what you have to do is take a moment of gratitude. Because like if I sit here and like just having this moment of, I just like literally went back through stages of our lives from like when we met to like living in Midland to like different stages of our life. Yeah. Like, and to be where we are now, it should be nothing but me being grateful for where we are. And sometimes you can forget where you've been.
For sure.
And the struggles are always different and weird. But the other day when I was walking the land, I was like, today I'm gonna get out of my head, and all I'm gonna do is focus on like being grateful in this moment.
Yeah.
For everything that I have right now. And my whole day was better.
My most unhappy time in life with you is when we lived in that apartment, that one bedroom apartment we just came back from Midland.
And just found out we were pregnant.
Just found out we was pregnant. We just found out we was pregnant again. And I was, so roller coaster, had a bunch of money, then lost a bunch of money, didn't have nothing. Then, so it was one time where we had nothing. We had just moved back from Midland. I was in the oil field. Moved back from Midland. We was living in that damn apartment, one bedroom apartment.
Trying to figure out.
The baby crib was in the damn living room. We was in the other room.
No, the baby crib was in our room.
Okay.
Remember, every time Blakeland woke up, we would go.
Yeah, because we had to be still, because if she see us move, she's gonna get up out the crib with that big old head and start screaming. So that was like my most unhappiest time, because I was looking for a job. And then I found one, and it just wasn't paying. I can't really work for anybody, because I feel like I'm way smarter than most motherfuckers I work for in my experience and things like that. So I wasn't being, I was still providing, but it wasn't the best of my ability.
You know why? Do you remember? I was having to work all day long.
Yeah.
And so because at that time I was able to I could make the money.
Yeah.
And so that is not your element.
For sure.
Your personality is not, okay, let me be with the kids. Like that is not who you are.
Yeah.
And so I can definitely see that could be your most unhappy.
For sure.
That's just not, and thankfully it didn't take long.
Yeah.
Because that's right when you started the
then I started
ballet
my own,
company.
Then I got all my stuff, because it takes a while to start your own company. And for me, it wasn't like I had a 9-to-5 and then on the side starting my own company. I wasn't working and I was starting my own company. My wife was doing all the work, and then I finally got the company started. And of course, just starting any company ain't like that motherfucking shit was just boom right off the window.
Right.
We just took off. But it took off from having one restaurant to having now 17 and the biggest one in Austin type of deal.
Yeah.
The biggest valet company in Austin. So I like that was like my my only time that I feel like I was at my.
But would you change that?
No. The struggle, the grind is just, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, a lot of money, no money to back to, where we are. So even if we was to lose it all again, I feel like I'm able to conquer it all with you.
Yeah. Like when I think, we just drove by that the other day, taking the girls to volleyball. And I was like, girls, I said, Blakeland, this was the first apartment we lived in. And I said, Corey, this is where I found out we were pregnant with you. And they're like, really? So there's like good times, but yeah, that was a tiny apartment.
It was.
And then we were worried that the neighbors were going to wake up to Blake every night oh man. Yeah. But again, I wouldn't change it.
Nah.
It created, again, who we are as parents, who we are as, like, the struggle is there. And now how could we not be grateful for where we are?
For sure. So when you're sitting at home, man, and you and your wife are just sitting on the couch or something, man, and y'all having some me time, just ask her or ask him, do you think that I'm happy?
Yeah.
And then, y'all talk about that. And I like that question. Another question I like is the memory one. Like, what's like one memory that you want to keep? I'm not answering that today.
That's so annoying.
What's one memory? You didn't answer that other one. What's one memory that, you know what I'm saying, you never want to let go between y'all two?
Say it again.
What's one memory?
Memory?
Yeah. That
or
you
memory?
I don't know how to pronounce it.
Okay.
However. But yeah, man. So like I said, man, this is episode 35. This is Coffee with Jenni and Dre. You can find us on TikTok, Instagram, Spotify, Apple. We're on all the platforms, YouTube. Y'all come check us out, man. We love the feedback. Man, we love sharing with y'all, just being a part of this journey that me and her are on.
Yeah.
This is episode 35. This is Coffee with Jenni and Dre.
Talk to you next time.
Peace.